Hey guys, so we're gonna, I'm just going off on a whim here, but so as many of you may or may not know, on the 1st of January 2018, the state of Colorado decided that they wanted to go ahead and up minimum wage from, I think it was like $9.30 to like $10.29. I have to double check that again, but yeah. So that's what they decided that needed to be done. Now, I don't know if any of you are good with math. I'm not a mathematician myself, but I can tell you that whenever minimum wage gets raised, it never seems to solve any problems. In fact, it seems to cause more problems than what it intends to solve. I've never been a proponent of raising minimum wage. Like, I've never been in support of it. I see that it doesn't do anything, doesn't do a lick of good for anybody anywhere. Not for the person who's making above minimum wage, and not for the person who is making minimum wage. You guys can call me a racist, call me whatever the heck you want to make you feel better, but I can tell you right now, raising minimum wage does not help anything. In fact, in my opinion, I think with this whole continuing to raise minimum wage, it tells me that the economy is probably not as strong as it actually is, especially if people are wanting to raise minimum wage, especially when we got politicians in office trying to raise minimum wage. You know, federal minimum wage is $7.25. I think it's ridiculous that all these states have their own state mandated minimum wages. I think it's ridiculous. Sorry. I'm trying to, like, I'm kind of scatterbrained right now, but it's ridiculous. I remember back in high school, so this would probably be about my junior year of high school. So this has been about almost 10 years ago at this point in time. I remember when minimum wage was, I believe it was $5.95 for federal minimum wage, $5.95 an hour, and they were moaning, bitching, complaining, oh, it needs to be raised to $6.25. And then they raised it, and then they moaned and bitched and complained again. Oh, it needs to be raised again. They raised it to $7.25. Guess what? $7.25 was not enough. And now people are moaning, bitching, and complaining again. Wouldn't you know? It's just like a never-ending fucking cycle. It just doesn't fucking stop. When is enough? When is it ever going to be enough? When is it ever going to be enough? It never will be. And you know why? Because these idiots need to get off their fucking asses and stop working these minimum wage jobs. Minimum wage is minimum wage for a reason. And people just don't understand that. There's no reason for you to be making $20 a fucking hour flipping burgers at McDonald's. There's no reason for that. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody thinks. Minimum wage needs to be frozen. Like, it needs to stay. Like, I've never agreed with it being $7.25 an hour. But it needs to, like, seriously. They need to set it, and it needs to stay, and that's it. That's the end of it. No more talks of raising minimum wage. That, like, honest to God, man, if I was in office, I'd be freaking, I swear to God, I'd be freaking pushing minimum wage back down to where it was back in, like, the 70s. I believe, I don't remember what year it was specifically. I don't know if it was 73 or 74 when the established federal minimum wage was like $1.75. Yeah, I swear to God, that's the way it would be. You'd have to frickin' check your calendars, check your wristwatch, to make sure you didn't go back in time. That's the way it would be with me. I'm serious. Frickin', this is ridiculous. People getting fucking $10 an hour is actually more than $10 an hour. You want to hear something? You know why I think it's bullshit? They get a 10% raise. That's actually, I think it's a little bit more than 10%. It's actually closer to like 11% raise. I'd have to get a frickin' calculator out and actually calculate how much of a raise they're essentially getting for their minimum wage. But that's bullshit. If they're getting it, then everybody else should be getting the same percentage of raises in their wages. Same percentage. And the reason why I say this, the reason why I'm complaining about this, why I freaking hate this, is because I used to work jobs. I used to work jobs that were like $9, $10 an hour. And the whole incentive of working those jobs is the fact that they paid that money, while the state was at $7.25. They were crappy jobs, but I worked them. And then I got my 2-year associate's degree from college as an electrical mechanical technician. And you see that? I joined the Navy. I got military experience, and I've got 2 years of college, and right now I'm stuck in a job making $13.50 an hour, and they just raised minimum wage a whole $1. You know how much that pisses me off? I freaking went through college, and I have military experience, and not only that, I have about another 3 years of civilian-based work experience. So you tell me why these people think that they need a raise on their minimum wage. You know, I think what what these people need to focus on is not really how much they can earn for minimum wage. What they should focus on is what can they do to earn a maximum wage. That's what they need to focus on. This whole thing is just completely ass backwards, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, I guess this would be my rant for today, but this is how I felt about this whole thing. Like, it'll never solve anything. It causes more problems than what it's worth. You mean, it won't, it won't surprise me if eventually $13 does become the new minimum wage. From what I understand, I think for the next couple of years, Colorado is supposed to be raising minimum wage up to $12, which is bullshit because I'm still making $13.50 an hour. And I just got out of the Navy, like, not even 3 months ago. So, yeah, this whole minimum wage thing, it's completely messed up. They just need to stop it. I don't know what else to say. It's just, these guys gotta understand, it's causing a lot more harm than good. And I'll explain this. Let me go ahead and go in a little bit further detail. Okay, let me explain this. So when you raise minimum wage, you're raising the cost of labor on goods and services. Raising the cost of labor and goods and services. Now, some of you liberal folks out there might not believe that. But guess what? It does. It raises the cost. And you know what's going to happen? These businesses, they're going to up their prices. Now, some of you say, oh, they wouldn't do that. No, they're going to do that. Trust me. It's a game of economics. A lot of these businesses aren't really making the crazy amounts of profits that everybody claims that they are. Some are, but a lot of them aren't. Most of them aren't. Most of them are barely scraping by. Let me tell you something. So, I believe it was San Francisco. I think it was like they raised their minimum wage up. I think it was from like $15 an hour to like $20 an hour or something like that. I might have to double check that one. But basically, what ended up happening, not only did prices and goods and services go up, but a lot of people, they found that their hours were cut. A lot of people actually even found themselves without a job because a lot of these places couldn't employ the same number of people that they once were able to afford. And then on top, they had to raise their prices on their goods and services. Some of these smaller places, like these mom and pop shops, had to close up because they couldn't afford to employ, they couldn't employ their employees, and they couldn't run their business at the same time. It was just not economically feasible. Who the hell is going to come in there, especially these mom and pop restaurants, who the hell is going to come in there and pay $20 for a burger? Huh? You tell me. And in places like McDonald's, and I've actually started noticing this, they're actually starting to become more automated. And the reason why I say that, so a couple of McDonald's I noticed over here in Colorado Springs, and then there's one out there in Branson that I visited. They're introducing kiosks to order your food. So they don't have to pay for employees to stand there registered to take your order. You just type in on the screen what you want, insert your money or use your credit card, and voila, your food's out in like less than 2 minutes. Yeah, they're getting that way. You don't believe me? Yeah, the machines are eventually going to take our jobs because we can't, as a frickin' society, can't decide what the minimum wage should actually be. We could raise it, we could have it at $1.75. We could have it at $100 an hour. It won't be enough because it's minimum wage. Okay? That's what it is. That's what it means. It's minimum wage. Minimum wage is your starting wage. That is your basic level entry jobs. Those are the jobs that are reserved for typically high schoolers, or people who are just getting out of high school, or people who are in college part-time and doing some work part-time. Okay, that's what these jobs are for. But these people won't understand it. These politicians, they don't understand it. I swear to God, I'm shaking my head. I don't feel like I'll ever get ahead in life because they won't stop messing around with freaking minimum wage. They won't stop raising taxes. They won't stop raising my expenses. I drive an old-ass truck, and I drive an old-ass car. My car is 11 years old. My truck is 30 years old. So, and I'm not even living in a place of my own. I actually have to, I'm paying rent. I'm splitting rent here. So, yeah, I don't understand it. I just don't understand these politicians. I don't understand these people. They need to stop being fucking whiners. You can have, what? I'd rather not be wearing those rosy glasses, whatever the hell you're wearing, to make you see the things that you're seeing, because clearly whatever you're seeing is completely distorted. Completely distorted. So, yeah, you guys need to, gotta understand, life isn't always going to be lollipops and unicorns, sometimes you gotta bust your ass. Sometimes you gotta go to school. And you can't just get to school in some bullshit degree. You gotta get something in some sort of an actual field, an actual trade. Not liberal arts, not political science, not underwater basket weaving, not psychology. No, actually get a degree in something. A technical skill, like diesel technician, ASC certified mechanic. I don't know, carpenter, actually, believe it or not, carpenter, or certified welder, something, certified plumber. Those, like I said, some of those jobs, they're actually looking for people. But, it's just, with our liberal society, people just want to take the easy way out. I just don't understand it. Well, I've let this video run as long as I'm going to let it run. You guys have a great day, and see you next time.